This video shows how to use conditional formatting to identify date-based patterns in Excel. And I had previously done a post about conditional formatting, but I did not cover date-based because it's a little bit more complex at times. So that's what this post is about. So you can see here I have some dummy data, and it's just basically, okay, I'm tracking software renewals. And you could use the conditional formatting for pretty much anything you want to, whether you were tracking the last time you communicated with certain people, or just basically anything, any kind of bills that are coming up, whatever you want to do. So I'm on the home page here. I'm on the home tab, and conditional formatting is on that tab. So I'm going to first select where I want to apply conditional formatting. And for me, I'm just going to select the exact cells. You could select the entire column or row if you wanted to, but I'm going to say these cells here, and I'm going to say conditional formatting, and I'm going to pick highlight cells rules, and I'm going to go down to more rules. And then from here, I want to pick format only cells that contain. And then this is where the important piece is right here. Format only cells with dates occurring. Now you notice some of the other parameters went away because it's based on dates. And then from here, my options are yesterday, today, tomorrow, in the last 7 days, last week, this week, next week, last month, this month, next month. And so you can see it's very predictable in its pattern. It's a certain number of something, and then past, current, and then future. And so it does that for basically a day, a week, and a month. Most of the time this will cover a lot of the things you need to do, but there are also other ways that you might, times when you might need something custom, and I'll show you how to do that as well once I show you this part. So I'm going to say for things that are due this month, I want this, and you'll notice right now, here's the preview. So nothing's going to happen if I do this. It's going to apply it to this date here, except for you won't notice it because the format is exactly what everything else is, so it won't stand out. So I'm going to change the format, and I'm going to say I want to fill it with, if it's this month, I want it to catch my attention. So I'm going to say bright pink, woof, and then I'm going to pick a font of white instead of black because I think it'll be easier to read. And once I'm done, I can say okay, and then here's the preview. Now you'll notice it hasn't been applied yet because I'm still just making the roll. Once I'm done, I can say okay, and boom, it automatically applies it to the one date that is this month. Okay. Now, if I want to do another one, I go conditional formatting again, highlight cells rules, more rules, and I could do one for next month. So next month is going to be a little less stressful for me, like say this is a bill or something like that, right? So I'm going to say format only cells that contain, so it stayed there, dates occurring, next month, and again, you'll see the preview is nothing. It starts with nothing. I'm going to fill it with, let's do like a brighter orange. Ooh, orange selection is kind of weak. Okay, so orange, and I wonder, let's see what that looks like preview. Ooh, hard to read the black. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the format, and I'm going to say font of white. Okay, I find that easier to read. Okay, then I say okay, and there it is. So what I like about the preview is you can actually see what it's going to look like before you apply it. So now there's one date I have in here that's next month. Now, sometimes I might want to know, here's the biggest problem I've had with the conditional formatting date-based is when I go in here, and I say more rules, and I say dates occurring, I might want to know something that, say it's a bill that's past due, no matter how long ago it was, like it's overdue. So in other words, here I have yesterday, last week, and last month. But what if it was due 2 months ago? It's going to fall outside of this conditional formatting, and the conditional formatting will go away. Well, I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is say, use a formula to determine which cells to format. And I'm going to say equals, and then in all caps, today. So that basically is telling Excel, compare today's date, and then type the start and close parenthesis, which is like the 9 and the 0 on your keyboard. And then I'm going to say minus, and you want to pick the cell for the first date that you want to apply the formula to. So in my example, you can see that I'm in column R, and that this row is row 3. So I'm going to type in R3, and then for me, I'm going to say greater than 1. What I'm saying here is if the date in R3, if it was any day before today, that's how that works. So then I'm going to say, here's my format. Now this one, I want to really catch my attention, so I'm going to fill it with this bright, crazy red, and I think I'll do the white font again because I like it. And I'm going to say, okay, here's the preview, and I'm going to say, okay. And so here's the one that I have that's overdue. This was due, in this instance, this date is before today, long before today. So the other thing you can do is you can apply a date for the future. So quickly, I'm going to go back to manage rules, and then I'm going to say new rule. And that's how you can also go back and change and edit a rule at any time you want. So I'm going to go use a formula to determine which cells to format. I'm going to start with the same exact formula, equals today, and then begin in parentheses, minus R3, because that's, again, my first date cell, and it's going to apply to all these cells, right, because I have them all selected. Is greater than, I'm going to use a negative number to look for future, and then I'm going to format it really quickly. I'm going to say, let's do this really deep red, and obviously I'm going to want a white font for that one. Say OK and OK. And then what's important to know is that these rules are applied in the order shown. So as you create them, they get stacked and the most recent ones go up on top and get applied first. So I'm going to move this to the bottom because for that it makes more sense. And I'm going to say apply. And these are all dates that are more than 60 days in the future from today. So, which I picked the wrong color. So I'm going to edit that. I meant to do that in green, sorry. So green meaning that for me, I don't have to worry about it because it's in the future. So if I go OK and apply, boom, there we go. So quick look and I can see which dates I need to worry about, which ones are in the past, which is right upcoming, and which ones are, so far off I don't even have to worry about them. So that's how you can apply conditional formatting to date-based items in Excel.